Hey everyone, what's up? It's me, Blanche, and welcome to Feast in the Middle East. And I've been doing this show now for almost 7 years, so a lot of you have been following the trajectory of the show and watched us grow. But a lot of you are new and are wondering, well, what is this show about? Who are you, Blanche? Why are you doing this? So I decided in this episode, I'm going to give you a backstory. I'm going to reveal a lot of things about you that you might not even know about, so you know why I'm here, why I'm doing this show, and why all of you mean so much to me. So, I am a first-generation Arab American. I was born in San Francisco, California, and my earliest memories of mine as a child was remembering when my parents were watching the news every night and just cursing at the TV every single night, cursing like, look at the lies, every night they're saying lies about the Middle East. And I thought as a kid, well, if I just get into that TV, I can get in there and tell the truth and then people won't be mad every night. So, it's not cool to lie. When you're a kid, you're taught you're not supposed to lie. So why are people lying? Why are grown-ups lying on TV? So from that moment on, I decided I want to be a journalist. And how was I going to do that as a kid? Well, in my neighborhood, anytime something happened, I would go door to door. Back in the day, it was a little safer to do this. Knock on neighbors' doors and ask them what happened to them if there was like an earthquake, which was quite common in San Francisco at the time and still is here and there. And I would like knock on, Mrs. So-and-so. Mrs. So-and-so, I know, did you feel the earthquake? Is your stuff okay? Did anything fall? Anything break? Oh, okay. And then I had my little notepad and I write it all down and I'd formulate a news story when I got home. And then I got a cardboard box and that was my podium. And I used a spatula as my microphone because it was cheap and easy. Talk about hybrid of careers, right? I ended up in cooking and journalism at the same time. This was kind of a symbol of that, I think, this spatula. So I would use my spatula as my microphone. I would round up all the kids in the neighborhood, say, yo guys, okay, I'm gonna do a news story at 5 o'clock news, so check it out. So all the kids would, there were a lot of kids in the neighborhood at the time. Kids used to play outside then. They weren't like on their iPads all day. And so they would listen to my news reports, which I did, several times a week. And then by the time I got to high school, I was one of the editors of my school newspaper, got my master's in journalism, and then did internship after internship where I worked at TV stations for free or barely anything. I was scraping by as a college student. My parents thought I was a nut job, wondering why I was doing this, and thinking it was probably gonna amount to nothing. So, I landed my very first program on PBS, which I really love because PBS, I always thought, gave a voice to the voiceless. And I did this show called Video Eye, which showed independent documentaries from all over the world, detailing, what was happening in the Middle East and Africa and Latin America. And I felt very proud to be a part of that program. And I hosted that show for a solid 10 years. Shortly after, well, even in the middle, like after 3 years, I, at the same time, became a reporter for a show called Tech Live on Tech TV. Now, Tech TV was an international live satellite channel that dispensed news 24/7 on tech, but on other things as well. So I had to wake up every morning at 2:30 in the morning, drive to San Francisco, be makeup ready by 5 a.m. and talk about the news of the day. And oftentimes I was so, caught up in all the news, I wouldn't leave till like 7 p.m. So I practically lived at the station and it was a lot of hard work, but I loved it. For me, it was like a manifestation of what I had dreamed about doing ever since I was a kid. After Tech TV turned into G4 and then it dissolved, I ended up on a show on ABC called View from the Bay. Now, View from the Bay was a totally different genre. It was entertainment. So I can say I was probably the first Arab American entertainment reporter that was reporting every single day live from a different venue. Sometimes it would be at concerts or restaurants or fashion shows. I interviewed hundreds of celebrities from like Selma Hayek to Oliver Stone to Harry Connick Jr., Nicolas Cage. Every week was an adventure. It was a lot of hard work, but it was exhilarating and I really enjoyed my time there. After that show dissolved, you see, that's TV. It's like a roller coaster, it's like this. But at this point I had 2 kids, right? And I was pretty upset about the way Hollywood and mainstream media, I was upset about the directions that they were taking. They were not directions that I necessarily agreed with, and I didn't really feel the need to be part of them. For me, it was always about giving voices to people that didn't have a voice, right? And so I kind of dabbled in the idea of doing a cooking show for Middle Eastern food, because I thought, Middle Eastern food is so rich in history and culture, but there is no show on Middle Eastern food on Food Network, Cooking Channel, or any other networks. And at the same time, lines were snaking around restaurants, in Middle Eastern restaurants from all over. And so it was definitely popular. People loved Middle Eastern food. And I wanted to paint a different picture of my culture, because mainstream media painted Middle Eastern Arab people with this one-dimensional brush of war. And I didn't want to be characterized as just a person with a background in war, or of people from war. And I wanted to kind of change that paradigm and show the culture, the hospitality, the beauty of Middle Eastern Arab culture in a different, unique way around food. Because when we all sit around a table, it's hard to fight. Everyone has a universal love of food. It brings people together. It's a beautiful, peaceful thing. It's a positive thing. So I thought, let me do that. And of course, my parents, having gone on this journey with me, they thought I was crazy again. Like, wow, what a risk you're taking there, Blanche. Is this really what you want to do? And I thought in my head, yes, so I started by documenting a cookbook of all these beautiful recipes that were handed down to me that are hundreds of years old, and I wanted to bring them to life. I want to preserve them and share them, not just with my family, but with people like you. And I wanted to continue it into kind of a global cooking family, which is what Feast in the Middle East has become, thanks to you. And so that's what I set out to do. So when I first started Feast in the Middle East, I thought I had to do it in a TV pilot format. So it was for Musakhan chicken, and I did it like in several parts. It's like a half an hour long. And I realized very quickly that that's not the YouTube style. The YouTube style is to make everything condensed and shorter. And so after that first long episode, I decided to do shorter episodes, modernizing Middle Eastern food so that people at home can do it and make it easy for them and not intimidating and super accessible. And then my show kind of morphed not only to the food, but to like traveling to restaurants, to food festivals, getting perspective on culture and on language. And it's still morphing today. And that's why I come to you to give you not just a background of what this show is, but what I want this show to be. I want you to be a part of this process by telling me, what are your favorite elements of the show so far? Do you like the cooking element? And if so, do you like classic Arabic recipes, modern ones, fusion, where I do East meets West, like my Middle Eastern nachos called machos, or baklava granola, or Lebanon cheesecake? Those are my fusion recipes. Then I know a lot of you out there are watching your weight. You want low carb recipes. I know a lot of you are vegan and want vegan recipes. And then I know that some of you have been brought on because you saw my videos on intermittent fasting and how it's kept me in shape. Because as an aside, I've been a fitness instructor now for about 5 years, and I've always researched nutrition. It's a passion of mine, and I love sharing my information on how to stay healthy and to eat great food while doing so. So there's the intermittent fasting aspect, and of course there's my crazy culture and language videos as well. So if you could leave in the comments below what interests you most, what would you like to see more of in 2018? I will take these comments very seriously in how I format the program going forward. I do have some special surprises as we go forward. I'm looking to revamp my website, as well as I really need to release this cookbook before the end of the year. And feel free to nudge me in that direction if you're impatient as well. It's been hard. I'm looking for a publisher. I have the cookbook complete. I just need to get it out to you guys in the best way possible. Do you prefer ebook? Do you prefer paperback? So there's all these things brewing at the same time. I just want to make sure I'm going in the right direction, because like I said, I consider you guys sort of my global family extended from this camera lens. And I want to make sure that I provide content that you're super interested in. So please leave a comment below, subscribe, like, and share my channel and this video so that we can keep this going and the algorithms, keep this video alive. And until next time, I just want to say ma salama, sahtain, which means peace, good health, and peace in the Middle East.